Greetings, math fans. This is Mr. Kingsbury. This is not an official notes video, but I did want to put something up about several of the skills we've learned in Unit 4. They revolve around the calculator mostly. So I thought it might be good just to demonstrate at least how to do this. Maybe write down some buttons and stuff. What I want to show you here is how to regress an equation given a bunch of data or ordered pairs or what have you. Regressing means you take the data and from the data you come up with the equation that best fits it. There's actually a way to do it by hand. I honestly do not know how to do it by hand. I'm young enough that I've never had to do that. But I bet if we really wanted to, we could find out. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm going to look at number 1 on the Formulating Quadratic Systems practice packet. Should be attached to this video. If you're on my Google Classroom, if you're just on YouTube, it's not attached. But anyway, we're given 2 tables. You can see this one's labeled quadratic and this one linear. I'm going to do both just to show you. It's pretty straightforward. First, you have to put in the data. So to type in the data, that's not the word type. So to type in the data, you have to hit Stat and then Edit. So then that's how you do that. And then once you have the data in, then what you'll hit is to actually regress the equation, you will do the following. You will hit Stat again. This time you will use the right arrow. And then you need to choose one of 2 options. If you want to do a linear equation, you choose 5. Or if you want to do a quadratic equation, if you want to do a linear equation, you do 4. If you want to do a quadratic equation, you do 5. And then you're going to hit Enter 3 times. You're going to hit Alpha. Then you're going to hit Enter 3 more times. Let me walk you through it, but I wanted to at least write it down for you, all right? So let's just look at this first table here, table of quadratic data. Let me turn on my little calculator here. I'm going to hit Stat. Stat is right here. And it brings me to this screen, which is kind of hard to see. There you go. You got all kinds of good options. We're going to deal with the Edit menu. There's actually 3 menus: Edit, Calc, and Tests. We're going to stay on the Edit menu, and we're going to choose option 1, which is Edit. And that takes you here. You can see I already have data in there. So I'm just going to arrow up to the name of the column, which is line 2, or list 2, rather, L2, and I'm going to hit Clear, and then down arrow. Same thing over here. And now I can type in my data. So let's do that. Now the X column here, I've got -3, -2, -1, etc. So I'm going to type those in. Please note that I am going to hit Enter after each time I put something in. And I really wanted you to see my fingers as I'm putting these in, but it's kind of hard. So we'll do this. So we've got -3, enter, -2, enter, -1, enter, 0, enter, 1, enter, 2, enter. Boom! Then we're going to put in the Y values here. We'll put those in the Y column. There, that'll work. So I'm going to arrow 1 to the right to get to list 2, and I will put in -4, enter, -3, enter, -4, -7, -12, and -19. That should really be the hardest part of this whole process. So that's the first part, type in the data. Now we're going to regress the equation. So I'm going to hit Stat. This time I'm going to use the right arrow to go to the Calculate menu, and then I'm going to decide, do I want a linear or quadratic equation? This is quadratic. So I'm going to choose option 5, which says quadratic regression, and it will take me here. And I will hit Enter 3 times. Then I will hit Alpha. Oh, I should put trace. It should say Alpha Trace, and then Enter 3 times. My bad. TRACE, and then Enter 3 times. Oops. So Alpha, Trace, enter, enter, enter. That's an extra little step that can come in handy. For our purposes, all we really need is this equation here. So you can see I'm given the form of the equation with A, B, and C as my coefficients, and then they give me values for A, B, and C. So I'm going to write -1 y equals -1x squared minus 4x minus 7. And I could do it again for linear. In fact, I will. Let's hit stat, enter, and I will clear out list 2. I happen to notice, by the way, that the x values are identical for both tables. So I'm going to just leave those in, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. And then let's, in list 2, we'll go -14, -8, -2, 4, 10, and 16. Now I'm going to regress the equation, so I'll hit stat, right arrow. This time I'm going to do a linear regression, which is option 4. Enter, enter, enter. Alpha, trace, enter, enter, enter. And I am given this. Notice that the linear equation is much smaller. There's only 2 coefficients, which, yeah, A and B. So I'm going to write y equals 6x plus 4. And that's all there is to it. In the worksheet that we did, which is this, I gave you 3 problems where they were tables, and they all work that same way. Then I gave you some problems with ordered pairs. Ordered pairs work the same way. I'm not going to do a demonstration for you, but you could put all the x values in list 1, all the y values in list 2, and then regress the equation. So it works out real nice. Thanks. Hopefully that helps, and I'll see you in class.